What happened in the world of sim racing this last week? We're going to tell you right here, right now. Greetings Romies and welcome to Raceroom, the channel sharing the joy of sim racing, and to our regular news roundup, our weekly sim racing news. Welcome to the channel, thanks for stopping by. My name is Serta and I will be your host for this video. If you have any news for us, send us a mail to news@raceroom.net. Let me start with announcing that next week we may not deliver a news video, at least very likely not on Sunday. The reason is, Cody and I will be at this year's Sim Racing Expo talking to an immense bunch of companies so we can offer you more and better content and news. Ike couldn't make it this year, but he's already making plans for the next year. So while we may have a lot to say about the Sim Racing Expo after the fact, it's quite possible we won't be able to write, record, cut and upload any kind of video in time for next Sunday. But, so to speak, to make up for it, you can enjoy yet again an interesting race on Tuesday of the Automobilista 2 Community Cup. This time the teams will duke it out with the sprint race cars, quite nimble V6 cars raced in Brazil, and fittingly they will be racing at Interlagos, which is always a joy to see mastered, one of my favorite tracks for sure. And if I'm not mistaken, from next year on the sprint race series is going to be converted into something like the Brazilian NASCAR, or should we say NASCAR? Don't miss what promises once again to be an excellent race on Tuesday 29th 2200 CET. That's 10 PM CET. In news that have led to a lot of speculation, rFactor 2 has stopped offering their version of Silverstone due to the end of their licensing arrangement. And while a representative from Studio 397 stated Silverstone was asking more than Studio 397 was willing to pay to renew the license, the question remains as to the BTCC sim, as Silverstone is one of the tracks raced within that series. And of course, considering the developments within motorsport games, Studio 397's owner, of which we spoke last week, see the link up there, there's other reasons to be preoccupied with this news. Out of Rally saw a small update this week with things like fix a flooded log and other small corrections, mostly with regards to graphics. And this week, SCS told us that their next project is going to be translating the wonderful panoramic views of Oklahoma into a DLC for American Truck Simulator. No date has been set, as it's still very much a work in progress. The renowned mod group Raceroom Studio has put out the classic Endurance Pack 1 for Assetto Corsa. At 10 British pound, which the way the British economy is going will be kinda couple of dollars euro quite soon, you get 3 cars: the Toyama 20, the Nizumo R39 and the Ferruccio 33. All kinda unknown endurance cars from the 90s, unless you decodify which cars are behind those invented company names, which is not really that difficult, is it? Of course, you can expect high quality models, great sound and a good driving feeling from a modder group who's been at it for years and whose quality has always been memorable. And if you want to gorge yourself in sims or DLCs, of course now many companies are having sales using the Black Friday as an excuse, like everyone. Raceroom, iRacing, rFactor 2, Fanatic, just look around. WRC Generations have released their latest hotfix in an ongoing effort to improve the functionality of the game, as well as releasing a list of features and fixes to come. Now that the game is at version 1.3.24.1, KT Racing have fixed several crashes related to the Thrustmaster peripherals. No further details have been given, as well as a crash with TLSS modes. There was also an issue with seeing specific career screens on NVIDIA 4090 graphics cards, so if you have a 4090 and are having these issues, they should not longer be an issue enjoy your hundreds of FPS. There are still issues with Logitech peripherals which should be fixed with a future release of Logitech G Hub. If you were hoping for further fixes, they will be coming in a later update. More DLSS fixes, car setup changes not being applied beyond the first stage in leagues and clubs, an invisible obstacle in the Turkey Marmaris stage remains on the map, to name a few. So if you're looking for a perfectly working rally sim, best to look elsewhere in the short term. Well, they didn't wait long. Raceroom's trucks are out already, as you can see in the images, and with them an update of the sim with updated support for Camus and Logitech wheels, adding battery charge state for electric and hybrid cars, as well as water tank state for trucks to the shared memory API for all you Otarhut, SimHut, Crew Chief and so on users, and with corrections to Suzuka, Red Bull Ring, Nürburgring GP and Laguna Seca. In the Sims forum, KW Studios, the new name for Sector 3 since a couple of months, announced a new content drop expected December of this year. With what they are going to call the Drivers Pack, they are going to deliver a Beginners Pack starting with what has become the staple of all beginner cars thanks to iRacing, the Mazda MX-5. Also 2 cars from Crossley, an Irish car manufacturer specialized in low downforce, you could say beginners, open and closed wheelers. Included in the pack will be the Crossley 9S and the Crossley 90F, a closed wheeler and an open wheeler. The last of the 4 cars in the pack will be the Praga R1, a car well known to those who have Assetto Corsa, although we expect them to release the 2022 version of that car, which is also available for Assetto Corsa but only as a mod. Moving back to Raceroom, the Drivers Pack will also include the track Crossley used for the driving school, which is the Circuit de Charade near Clermont-Ferrand, a track which I didn't know existed until I read it on the info about the Drivers Pack. Using an ad blocker? Understandable. Still want to support us? Become a patron. Amongst other perks, it will fix your name for posterity like this, but you'll also get to know what we plan and what we're doing, so a big thank you to our patrons. If you come here regularly, please consider subscribing, especially as we are nearing the 3,000 subscribers and would like to reach them before the end of the month. Would you like to help us reach that goal? Well, it's here at last. After a longer waiting than usual, Automobilista 2 dropped the newest update of the sim at last. While we don't have the specifics on what went wrong, other than repeated issues with the grass at Modern and Historical Spa, Reza was producing release candidate after release candidate for a long while, and those candidates didn't make it into production. In any case, whatever was holding the release up has now been solved. The force feedback got some tweaks and full course yellow has been added as a state in the shared memory. Also, FUSA cars got some aerodynamics and tire adjustments in their speedway configurations, with also a round of aero adjustments being made in the GT1 Group C cars, Porsche RSR 1974 and Corvette C3R, and the F Vintage cars got adjusted gear ratios for any of their V8 models. Moving on to the AI, the suspension rates for many of the cars got adjusted, as did the tires for cars on oval courses. Also, Auto Club got animated marshals and crowds, Spa got the grass issue solved, and Curvelo a small issue. Many of the cars now also support custom helmet delivery while work on the rest continues. All this, of course, added to the changes we already reported about. See the link up there. If you prefer to read up on all the changes in this update, we've included a link in the description of this video, as we always do. This release brings also the release of the Racing USA Part 3, adding 3 new ovals into the sim, with the biggest name in there, of course, being the Indianapolis circuit in oval and roval configurations, but Gateway is no slouch either. Third in line is Fontana. And while we're on the matter of DLCs, Racer's boss Renato gave us an update on their plans for what's included in the still active Season Pass and which DLCs they have already planned next. Still included in the Season Pass, and of course any other packs that promise them, will be Nürburgring Historic 1971 will be coming to Automobilista 2 and will be the last of the deliveries for the Nürburgring DLC. A Supercars Part 1 DLC with 3 road supercars, Brazilian Racing Legends Part 1 featuring 6 historical Grand Prix cars, and we'd be surprised if they don't have more than one car Ayrton Senna drove. A Historic Track Pack Part 1 featuring 3 historical tracks which they say will all be versions of modern tracks already present in the game for free. Speculate away in the comments. Racer expects each of these new DLCs to be issued at a price of €10 per DLC and to deliver them before the year ends. Another DLC that will for sure still be included in the Season Pass will be the Adrenaline DLC, at least the first part of it, which won't drop until next year. Hopefully and at last with the Stadium Super Trucks. Price for these DLC alone is expected by Racer to be €20 and as a bonus, owners of the 2020-2022 Season Pass will also get a 6th Premium Track DLC next year, as well as a bonus pack for Racing USA. While we know the price for the Season Pass may appear daunting, if you add up the price of all DLCs, it's really nothing. And for those of us who got the beta pack for €100 when Automobilista 2 was still in alpha, this has been an extremely good investment of our money, as we expected it, truth to be told. With regards to a new Season Pass, Renato was skeptical about releasing a new one for complex reasons of fairness or unfairness we won't go into here. I personally enjoyed this Season Pass and the content it brought to me, and don't agree with Renato on this. But I'm not the one running a sim racing company, so what do I know? What I do know is that our videos spread the joy of sim racing, and I can prove it if you check the playlist to the left or the video to the right. Until next time, save fuel, collect pickup, and we'll see each other on the podium.